Here's your content warning for this entire series. The following story contains, various forms of sexual violence on top of generalized extreme violence, and for many people, due to the sheer cheesiness, many viewers may cringe. Viewer discretion advised. The day my life changed forever started out like every other day. It was the same routine for the last 7 years, ever since I turned 10. I woke up at 6 a.m., took a quick shower, tossed on my favorite black skinny jeans, a black Hollywood Undead t-shirt, my crimson hoodie, and my red and black running shoes. I pulled my long brown hair up in a ponytail, covered the bruises on my pale face with some makeup, grabbed my backpack for school, and woke up my 6-year-old little sister, Benna. I quickly got her dressed and ready for school, feed her breakfast, and took her over to her babysitter. Luckily, her babysitter only lives a few houses down, so I had time to drop her off and rush back home to make breakfast for my parents. Just like every day, I hoped to have breakfast cooked and be out the door before my parents woke up, but once again, I was just a little too slow. As I finished cooking, my mother walked in and gave me her usual greeting, a punch to the stomach that dropped me to my knees and a swift kick in the ribs. "Get your lazy ass up and clean up the mess you made in the kitchen, Shayla, you useless bitch," she said as she calmly sat down to eat the breakfast I had cooked. I nodded quickly and got to work on the kitchen, still hoping to get out of there before my father came down. I'm just glad that I'm able to protect Benna from her parents. As much as my mother's continual physical and emotional abuse hurt, it was nowhere near as bad as my father's punishments. I just had a punishment last night since mother had to work late, and I didn't want to get another one after mother left for work, so I cleaned as fast as I could. Luckily that day I was able to get out before he came down. So for me, it started out a better day than most. After catching the bus to school, I hurried to my locker. Once again, I hoped that I could avoid Jeannie and her group. Jeannie, her boyfriend Biff, Biff's friend Joel, and Joel's girlfriend Roxanne were the biggest bullies in the school. They were also the head cheerleaders and the captain and quarterback of the football team, so of course, in the teacher's eyes, they could do no wrong. They had bullied me ever since 3rd grade, and the abuse from them got worse every year. I quickly grabbed my books for the first half of the day and started walking as quickly as I could without running to English class. Luckily, I made it to class without being caught. Unfortunately, I knew there would be no hiding from them after school. They had made sure of that the day before when they caused me to get detention. Jeannie had been beating me in the girls' locker room after gym class, and when she heard someone come in, she rammed her head into the locker and screamed. So, of course, everyone believed that I had been attacking her. I had tried for years to tell the teachers and the principal what really happens between Jeannie, her friends, and me, but of course they never believed me. No one ever believed me, probably because I have a couple disorders that make people think I'm a freak. It's not my fault that my eyes are 2 different colors. My right eye is a piercing light blue, like the color of a Siberian husky's eyes. My left eye is a bright emerald green. I also can't help that I was diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome when I was 10, shortly after my older sister Rebecca and I were in a car accident. I survived without any physical damage, But my sister didn't, and my parents always blamed me for that. I can't help the twitching that happens or the spontaneous, low-pitched, sinister-sounding giggles that freak people out. Anyway, the day went on like usual. People either ignored me or made fun of me. At lunch, I sat in the library by myself. I never ate lunch at school. My parents wouldn't let me take a lunch, nor would they give me money to buy lunch. After school, I went to detention. No one else was there today, so I had plenty of time to do my homework. I knew that I wouldn't be able to do it tonight. Mother and father would be waiting for me to come home from detention so they could beat me again. I knew that Benna would already be in bed by the time I got home, and I hoped that mother and father didn't hurt her while I wasn't there. I just hoped that mother didn't leave me alone with father again like the last time I got detention. I didn't think I could take father's punishment 2 days in a row. I was still sore from the night before. I really hated my life. If it wasn't for my need to protect Benna, I would have run away a long time ago. After detention, I tried to make a run for it, but as soon as I left school ground, Biff and Joel grabbed me and dragged me into the nearby woods. I tried to scream and struggled to get away, but Joel punched me in the face and I lost consciousness for a few minutes. When I woke up, I found myself laying in a small clearing in the woods. I knew this clearing. I'd come out here a few times to escape from my life for a while. I was only about a 15-minute walk from home. I thought that if I could just get away, I could make it home before they caught me again, but then I saw Jeannie and Roxanne. I knew I couldn't get away from all of them. Well, what do we have here, Jeannie's shrill voice was so irritating as she smirked over at Roxanne, Joel, and Biff. Looks like the freak tried to run again. Well, boys, I think it's time to get rid of that eyesore, don't you? Roxanne chimed in as she handed Joel and Biff large curved skinners. The faint light from the setting sun made the blades gleam a menacing orange. Thanks, babe. You and Jeannie should head back to set up for the party tonight. Biff and I can handle this little slut. Joel chuckled as he sat on my stomach and almost playfully ran the blade down the right side of my face, causing a shallow wound. I could feel the blood running down my cheek into my hair, and I started twitching. My involuntary muscle spasms made Roxanne and Jeannie laugh. Well, have fun, boy. Just remember to clean up before you come to the party. Skank blood stinks, Jeannie said as she and Roxanne left. There was silence for a few before Joel smirked up at Biff. You thinking what I'm thinking, bro? Joel asked. Yeah, let's have some fun with a little slut before we kill her. Biff's eyes were full of lust as he looked at me before turning and starting to walk away. You go ahead first, Joel. I know how much you love it when they fight back. I'll be over there. Call me when you're done, man. Sure thing, bro, Joel said with a grim chuckle. Now then, let's see what you hide under that hoodie of yours. As Joel started to rip my hoodie off, I started to struggle as my twitching got worse. They were going to punish me like father did and then kill me. If I died, what happened to me could happen to my little sister. All the years of torture and anguish flooded through my mind as I struggled. The anger and hatred I felt for everyone but my little Benna built, and I suddenly felt stronger than I ever had before. The small voice in the back of my mind that would whisper to me in my dreams was suddenly loud and clear. They should all just die. We don't have to take this anymore, Sheila. Stop being weak and fight back. Kill them. Kill them all. And for once, I did as she said. In a move too fast for Joel to counter, I rolled my hips and pinned him under me. Before he could call out to Biff for help, I sank my teeth into his throat and ripped it out, taking his voice box with a large chunk of his throat. He gurgled as his blood rushed out, and the light started to fade from his eyes. The taste of his bloody vocal cords was so delicious that I sighed with pleasure as I devoured the delectable treat. I had never tasted anything so exquisite in my life. As I got off Joel's lifeless body, I noticed a Skinner on the ground and picked it up. The blade really was beautiful. Good job, Shayla. That's my good, sweet girl. Now we just have to get rid of Biff and those so-called parents of ours. We'll leave the bitches for another day. I got up and silently walked in the direction Biff had gone. The twitching in my face and neck slowed down, and I knew it wouldn't be long before they stopped and the giggling started. So I went as fast as I could while staying silent. I crept up on Biff as he leaned against a tree. I smirked when I saw that Biff had his pants down around his thighs and he was moaning softly. His eyes were closed, so I snuck up on him and grabbed the other Skinner he had left on the ground. His eyes shot open as I pressed one of the cold blades to his neck, and a look of horror came over his face as he saw me. I started giggling in a low and sinister tone as I smirked at him. Biff, 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 it looks like we caught you at a bad time, I whispered in his ear as I continued giggling. When he tried to move, I pressed on the blade a little harder, causing blood to flow down his neck. Then I lifted the other Skinner so that he could see it and slowly lowered it down to his now deflated manhood. Oh dear, it seems you're not happy to see us right now. We thought you wanted to have a little fun with us, but I guess you're not in the mood. That's alright though. We don't think you're going to need this anymore. With a quick flick of my wrist, I severed off the head that did Biff's thinking for him. Both the voice in my head and I giggled as he let out an agonized scream. I was still a little hungry and was tired of playing with a piece of shit in front of me, so while he was screaming and crying, I took the Skinner that had stolen his manhood and pierced his skull right between the eyes and into his brain. When he fell to the ground, I sank my teeth into his neck and tore out his vocal cords too. I moaned in ecstasy as I savored my new favorite treat. Come now, Shayla, it's time to take care of the trash at home. Okay, I thought to the voice in my head as I headed home. So, do you have a name? It would be awkward to call you Hey You when I talk with you. You can call me Voicebox. You know, you really should have listened to me years ago when our father started punishing us. I'm sorry, Voicebox, I couldn't hear you clearly until just now with Joel. I understand, Shayla dear, but hear me now, and that is what is most important. I will never let anyone hurt you ever again. Whenever you need me, I will be there. Thank you, Voicebox. We will have to run after we kill Mother and Father. What should we do about Benna? We will take her to Grandmama and Grandpapa. They are the only ones we can trust to keep Benna safe. They would be appalled at what our parents have done to us if they knew. We finished the walk in silence. I decided to wait for Mother and Father to go to bed before killing them. As much as I want to make them suffer for everything they had done, I also just wanted to get rid of them, give Benna to our grandparents, and get out of here. Besides, there was always the chance that they could scream and alert the neighbors or wake up Benna, and that was a risk I wasn't willing to take. Okay, so I used to listen to another narration of the story, so I know a bit. I know some bits and pieces. Other than the obvious, likely sexual trauma that the author went through, I can't help but wonder why Voicebox would like, well, vocal cords, because I'm pretty sure they're like pieces of cartilage, so if you were to eat, literal larynxes, you know, you'll just be biting into straight cartilage, so I don't really see, well, I don't get the appeal, but anyway, I will see you in the next chapter, and that was a bit of background noise. Alright, see you guys later. This is gonna be a massive wall of text, so let's hope I can read this properly.